Hello YouTube, Jeff Steele here with Steele Navigator. I wanted to shoot a video in regards to the Jeep Cherokee or the XJ and why people love them, why they were such a tremendous hit for many years. I believe they made over 2 million of the Jeep XJs, various configurations and such. And Chrysler discontinuing them is probably the greatest automobile industry blunder known to man, or one of them. So number one is reliability. The old straight six of 4.0 and the AW4 automatic transmission, both absolutely bulletproof. I mean, I just blew up one engine in this Jeep, 323,000 miles, and that is all hard city driving, towing, off-road, 323,000 miles on the original engine. Now, dropped a new engine in it for $1,500, $1,000 labor. So pretty much got a brand new engine ready to go for $2,500, okay? And the transmission, the original in this, lasted about 240,000 miles. And just to tell you a little bit about the AW4 transmission, the fluid and filter is easily changed, as well as the gasket. My father had a Jeep Cherokee with the same transmission, and one time it had a leak. He literally ran the transmission out of fluid, did not damage the transmission, it just stopped pulling. As soon as he topped the fluid off, Jeep started pulling again. Of course, the leak was repaired, but that's just a testament of how tough that transmission is and how tough the engine is. So again, the original engine in this Jeep, all city driving, hard city driving, towing, off-roading, made it 323,000 miles. Pretty good. Be hard pressed to find something that lasts that long today. And also in regards to reliability, the transmission shifter, the four-wheel drive shifter, both are mechanical. It's not some switch or button, some type of electronic device to go wrong in regards to the essential mechanical operation of the vehicle going from point A to point B, okay? There's a few electronics on the Jeep, most of which, if I've had issues with them, the radio, the gauge cluster, optically it might be an issue. Maybe my gauges don't work one day, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the operation of the vehicle. I can still get in the vehicle, go to work, go to the store. The few electronic things in regards to the Jeep is not going to affect the most important operation, as far as that is getting me from point A to point B, okay? So many vehicles today, for example, their four-wheel drive system is all electronic. You have a button to press to go to four-wheel low, to go to four-wheel high, to go to automatic four-wheel. And something happens with that electronic system, something dumb, a rat chews a wire or a solenoid goes bad, you don't have four-wheel drive, or it's stuck in four-wheel drive. It's just something as dumb as that. So I'm all for technology and electronics and such, but certain things in regards to mechanics need to stay mechanical. That is, first off, the transmission shifter, being able to shift from park to reverse to drive to low, 1, 2, 3. And the four-wheel drive system needs to be mechanical, being able to shift in and out of four-wheel drive, four-wheel low, four-wheel high, all of that, and be able to put the transfer case in neutral. All of those things need to be and remain mechanical. It's so imperative. And to my knowledge, there's only a couple of manufacturers today that still produce vehicles with those features. For example, I think the Toyota 4Runner, maybe some of the other Toyota SUVs might have a mechanical shifter, And I think the new Suzuki little reinvention of the Samurai has a manual shifter for the transmission and the four-wheel drive operation. So those things is what makes the Jeep the greatest, is the reliability. The important things are all mechanical. Okay, that's number one. These Jeeps, people run them forever. I mean, the transmission goes wrong, which is rare. You just put a new transmission in it or a new engine. There are so many out there, there's so many aftermarket parts. You can find plenty of parts for them. Okay, so usually when people wind up scrapping a Jeep, is if it's been totaled out, been in some type of accident where the frame's really warped, or two, they've completely rotted them out. They're rusted out, the frames are rotted out, the bodies are rotted out to no return. Those are usually when they are scrapped. In that case, you can go find another Jeep with a good body, a good frame for a couple $100, maybe $1,000 or $2,000, and drop a new engine and transmission and keep rolling. So the next thing is the compact size and the maneuverability. SUVs today, especially in America, are getting larger and larger and larger and more cumbersome. And these Jeeps, you can turn them on a dime. I don't care if you're driving in the woods. I don't care if you're driving in the deep city streets, parking decks, crowded parking lots. These Jeeps, especially with the stock configuration, they turn on a dime. You can maneuver them anywhere. I've been through deep wooded trails with them. You can get in and get out. The large SUVs today, they're so massive, it's a royal pain and challenge to drive them anywhere. Driving through a drive-through, I mean, it's real work. You have to be extra careful maneuvering those large vehicles. And I understand the safety side of having a larger vehicle, but honestly, I think the Jeep XJs maybe have a leg up in safety because they have more open glass. There is more visibility. And with that more visibility, I think it's safer. Okay, they might say, oh, well, more glass is less safe. Well, when you take away the glass, you take away the visibility. Okay? So that's another thing, is safety, having the all glass with the visibility, and the compact maneuverability of having a compact size body. Okay, and next would be the iconic styling. So many people love these classic square bodied SUVs and trucks. They pay dearly for them. Okay, that's why there's such a resurgence in the old school SUVs, the old school trucks. People are refurbishing them, bringing them back. They just don't manufacture them today. Very few companies manufacture square body, good stylish vehicles. The only two that really come to mind are the Land Rovers, the Range Rovers, and the Mercedes G-Wagons. They have the square bodied look and are stylish at the same time, but you pay dearly, very dearly for that style. Okay, $75,000 up to a couple $100,000, you get into the nice G-Wagons. Okay, and even in those, you lose out on a lot of the reliability. I mean, British-made vehicles just are poor quality. Everybody knows that. I have a friend that owns a British mechanic shop, and he will flat out say that the quality is simply not there. Now, I think the G-Wagons, there is quality there. I believe that from what I've researched, but mega expensive. Mega expensive. These Jeeps, brand new, during their heyday, 20, 30 grand, you could get one loaded out. And whoever brings something comparable to these Jeeps back in the market today, whatever company does it, and does it well, does it as they should, maybe they even make them better. Maybe they take the best of the Jeep XJ and make them better. Maybe take the common 355 gear ratios and maybe bump them up to a 410 gear ratio. and maybe they put a small block old school pushrod V8 in them, and maybe beef the transmission up a little more, beef the transfer case up a little bit more, while at the same time keeping the essentials mechanical, such as a four-wheel drive and the shifters. Maybe add a couple of modern technological things, but none of which will affect the reliability if out in the bush, out on the trail, overlanding. Whatever manufacturer can pull that off will stand to make mega money and a mega hit, a mega sale. Why a car company has not done this yet, I don't know. Jeep has one awesome product today that they have out that if I had the money, I would probably buy one, and that is the Jeep Trackhawk. Okay, and that's got the Hellcat drivetrain. Check it out. Very entertaining vehicle. So if I was going to get a new Jeep, that would probably be what I would get. But at the same time, it doesn't have near the styling as the old school Jeeps with the square body and not as much ground clearance and such. But again, they're such a hit, these Jeep XJs, for so many reasons, not just the styling, the reliability, and the maneuverability. It's also the sound that they have, a classic, the straight six. It almost sounds like a diesel. Iconic sound. I mean, this Jeep has the Banks torque tube headers and the Flowmaster Super 10 muffler, and when you start it up, it sounds as good or better as a big V8 truck with a great exhaust note. It sounds that good, and it's just a straight six. And believe it or not, this is a 98 model, and of course they made them through 2001, but the fuel economy is pretty decent, unless of course you lift them up, put big mud tires on them and such. So this is pretty much stock. I have a size up in the tire, but I average in the city about 18.2 miles to the gallon, and on the highway I'm getting around 23. Maybe if I'm going downhill and the wind's in my favor, I might touch 24, maybe, if I keep it in the 60 mile per hour range. So fuel economy is pretty reasonable, while at the same time power is pretty decent. I've got about 200 horsepower from what I'm reading. I think it's around 230 foot-pounds of torque. But if I could change one thing right now, I would probably take the gear ratio up from 355 to 410s at least. And in a perfect world, I'd have a small block V8 in it, of course. But again, just blew the engine, brand new engine, out the door after labor, $2,500. Now I could have went and bought a new, highly electronic new Cherokee, which doesn't look nowhere near as good, for 30 grand, at least 30,000. They go on up to 40,000, I think. Or I could have spent $2,500 and keep my old Jeep running. What's the better option? So there's just a few reasons why people love the Jeep Cherokee, the XJ. And I can't say it enough. Whatever car manufacturer comes out with something similar today will stand to make mega money. Why it has not happened yet, I do not know. They stopped making them in 2001. It's 2019 now. That's 18 years, people. 18 years. Why have they not brought it back? A better version. Let's start a conversation on this. Tap the thumbs up icon, tap the bell icon, and subscribe if you would. I'd appreciate it. Let's start a conversation on this. Have you heard any information? Are they going to bring it back? Who's going to bring such a vehicle back? Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.